Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. In this presentation, we will cover DTC P0172, which indicates that the rear bank fuel system is too rich for the Honda Accord models from 2012 to 2017. This error code is significant as it informs the mechanic that the Powertrain Control Module, or PCM, has detected an abnormality in the air-fuel ratio sensed by the rear air-fuel ratio sensor, also known as AF sensor bank 1, sensor 1. The fuel system being too rich means that there is an excess of fuel in the air-fuel mixture, which can lead to engine malfunctions and increased emissions. The role of the PCM is to maintain an optimal air-fuel ratio by varying the short-term fuel trim. If the PCM senses that the long-term fuel trim deviates significantly from the normal range, it stores this DTC to alert the technician for further diagnosis and repairs. It is crucial to tackle this issue promptly to ensure vehicle efficiency and compliance with emissions regulations. The key component affected by DTC P0172 is the rear air-fuel ratio sensor, specifically the AF sensor located on bank 1. This sensor's primary role is to measure the oxygen content in the exhaust gases, providing feedback to the PCM. Based on this feedback, the PCM can adjust the fuel injection to maintain the ideal air-fuel mixture, known as the stoichiometric ratio. Short-term fuel trim allows the PCM to make rapid adjustments in fuel delivery based on current driving conditions, while long-term fuel trim is used to assess the average fuel delivery over time to accommodate component wear or system changes. If the long-term fuel trim exceeds certain values, indicating a too rich condition, the PCM will trigger DTC P0172. This condition can result from various component failures or malfunctions in the fuel delivery system. Several potential causes can lead to the P0172 DTC code. First, a failure of the fuel pump might restrict fuel delivery to the engine. Next, a malfunctioning fuel injector can cause an imbalance in the air-fuel mixture, contributing to excessive fuel delivery. Another common issue is related to the fuel pressure regulator. If it fails, it may not properly regulate fuel pressure, leading to a rich mixture. Additionally, issues with the mass airflow (MAF) sensor can significantly impact air intake measurements, which in turn affects fuel mixture calculations. Furthermore, any leaks in the intake manifold can introduce unregulated air, causing a variance in the air-fuel ratio. Lastly, fuel supply system failures or valve timing issues may contribute to this DTC, indicating the importance of a thorough diagnostic process. Recognizing the symptoms related to DTC P0172 is essential for prompt action. One of the most noticeable signs is a rough engine idle, which can be disruptive during normal driving. Additionally, drivers may experience poor fuel economy as the excess fuel leads to inefficient combustion. Increased emissions are another critical indication that the engine is running rich, which can draw the ire of environmental regulations and cause the vehicle to fail emissions tests. The malfunction indicator light, or MIL, will also illuminate on the dashboard, signaling the driver to seek immediate attention. Finally, overall performance loss may become evident as the engine operates inefficiently. If these symptoms arise, further diagnostic steps to investigate DTC P0172 should be undertaken as soon as possible. The first troubleshooting step involves a series of precise actions to diagnose the P0172 code. Start by initiating the engine and carefully hold the engine speed at about 3,000 RPM without applying any load. It is crucial to do this with the automatic transmission in park or neutral for manual transmissions. Maintain this RPM until the radiator fan activates, indicating that the engine is sufficiently warmed up. Once the fan comes on, allow the engine to idle and monitor the long-term fuel trim. If the long-term fuel trim remains around 1.0, this suggests that there may not be a significant issue or that it is a minor problem. Conversely, if a fault is indeed present, expect to see significant fluctuations in the long-term fuel trim value during this observation period. For the second troubleshooting step, you will need to conduct a road test. Drive the vehicle at a consistent speed between 15 and 75 miles per hour, maintaining this for at least 15 minutes, while closely monitoring the long-term fuel trim parameter. This observation is crucial because if the long-term fuel trim remains at about 1.0 during this testing, it indicates that the problem is either resolved or very minor. However, if you note that the value varies significantly, it suggests there is a likely fault. In cases where freeze data is stored in the PCM, it may be essential to replicate the conditions that caused it to gather relevant evidence for diagnosis. After clearing the DTC by disconnecting the battery or using the scan tool, drive the vehicle at a steady speed ranging from 15 to 55 miles per hour for at least 40 minutes to facilitate recovery of the long-term fuel trim for accurate readings. After completing repairs associated with DTC P0172, it is crucial to conduct a final verification process. Start by utilizing the scan tool to clear the DTC from the Powertrain Control Module's memory. Following this, it's essential to monitor the vehicle for any recurrence of the DTC during subsequent driving cycles. Confirm that the vehicle operates correctly without the presence of any further check engine light illumination. A thorough test drive should be undertaken to simulate regular driving conditions, providing an opportunity to observe the long-term fuel trim's behavior once again. Pay close attention to whether the value stabilizes, indicating successful resolution of the rich fuel condition. Verifying all these factors ensures an effective and lasting repair. To effectively prevent DTC P0172 from recurring, implement regular maintenance procedures specifically focusing on the fuel system and air intake components. Schedule periodic checks to monitor fuel trim values, as this will help identify any emerging issues before they escalate into more significant faults. It is also advisable to clean fuel injectors regularly, as clogged injectors can lead to improper fuel delivery and richness in the fuel mixture. Ensure that the air filter is checked and replaced if necessary, as a blocked air intake could adversely affect the air-fuel ratio. Lastly, routine inspections of sensor functions, including the air-fuel ratio sensors and the manifold absolute pressure sensors, can be instrumental in catching issues early and ensuring optimal engine performance. In conclusion, the understanding of DTC P0172 is essential not only for addressing current issues, but also for maintaining the vehicle's overall health. Recognizing the role the Powertrain Control Module plays, along with the importance of the sensors in managing air-fuel mixtures, is crucial for effective diagnosis. Regular monitoring of fuel trim values can serve as an early detection method for malfunctions, allowing for proactive repairs. The troubleshooting steps outlined in this presentation provide a structured approach that technicians can follow to ensure accuracy and thoroughness in diagnosing the issue. Finally, emphasizing preventive maintenance can extend the life of the vehicle while reducing the likelihood of DTC reoccurrence. Addressing P0172 efficiently and effectively ensures that the Honda Accord operates at optimal performance, reducing emissions and enhancing fuel economy. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.